finally did it, Joe. You're gonna be the next president of the United States.
Yes. Yes, this is so cool. This is so cool! Now what?
Wow, that's a great question. I wasn't expecting that question.
Child. Anyway, so.
Hello, everyone. This is Power in Blaso, Power in Black Artists Speaking Out. And today, we're going to be talking about last week's elections. So let's get into it. Okay, hey guys, so today we have Ashley Glover, Nyla Gillus, and Willow Walton, and we're going to be talking about those elections last week. But before we get started, why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Okay, well, I'm a junior at Appomattox Regional Governor's School, and I'm a tech theater major. I like costuming and makeup.
My name is Willow Walton. I also go to Appomattox Regional Governor's School. I am a literary arts major. I like to write poems and horror stories, and I'm very excited to talk about the elections. Yes, a lot happened. So.
Correct. And last but not least, Ashley.
Hey guys, my name is Ashley Glover, and I also attend Appomattox Regional Governor's School. I'm a music major there, and I'm a junior. And I like songwriting, and I love singing and playing the guitar.
Yes, and every single last one of these girls, they're amazing, super talented, just super awesome. So stay posted to see like what they're doing. So let's get into it. I feel like last week everybody was just kind of, well, very anxious about what was going on. More because like it was just like taking forever for the results to get in. But like, how are you guys feeling through all of that?
I mean, I personally was kind of anxious about like who was going to win, and then like beforehand how people were saying, oh well, like you're gonna cheat anyway, like saying that some people were gonna cheat and that it was gonna be like conflict, and it was kind of making me nervous about, okay, well, either way it goes, I feel like there's gonna be some sort of argument or uproar in some communities, like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's kind of going on right now. But before we get into that, what about the rest of you?
I definitely get what Nyla is saying. I felt the exact same way. Like when I scroll on Instagram, I just see, oh, make sure to pack like an emergency bag in case you have to leave your house because of people coming in case Trump loses the election. So I felt very concerned and fearful, and I don't understand how people think it's okay to say terrorist things as in, well, I guess I'm shooting tonight or going to shoot someone because if Trump loses, and I don't see how that is ever okay. But then again, we do live in America, so.
It's crazy how the people who said that weren't considered terrorists and that those weren't considered terrorist threats either in the news. Ashley, what about you?
Yeah, I can totally agree with both of you guys because this election, it is a very serious matter, and definitely, especially for an election that I personally was more engaged in, I definitely was nervous about it and just interested about the outcome. And like Nyla said, I pretty much knew there was going to be some type of allegations or arguments saying, well, there's some, things that didn't go right or in the counting or things like that. So I'm still interested in how like this all is going to pan out. And yeah, it's definitely interesting for sure.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. And Trump already said before that he was going to start causing a ruckus if he didn't win. And he has. He's been suing states and everything. And I feel like is kind of just encouraging his supporters to act out more. What were you guys' reaction when you found out that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris won this election?
Well, I was in the grocery store and I was trying to tell my mom, I was like, wait, Biden just won. She was like, no, wait till we get outside. Like, I don't want to talk about this right now. So when we got to the car, she was like, I don't really believe you. You got to show me evidence that this is real because I don't want to believe it. It's too good to be true. Like, whatever. And like when I showed her, like we were both like, oh, wow, like this is going to like be a change, a good change for the country. Like if he becomes president like he should, and that it might change some things, maybe.
And I have a question to piggyback off of that. But before we get there, Willow, what do you have to say?
I didn't know, but I was hoping that he would, even though it is the situation between him and Trump it's called like the lesser of two evils, and that's obviously Biden. I don't think it should be things like that, like lesser of two evils. I know no one's perfect, but she shouldn't at least engage in some crime like sexual activity, pedophilia, rape. But you know, of course, that's been happening a long time in the presidential White House. But I wasn't very surprised, but I was very relieved that we wouldn't have another term for Trump. Very, very relieved, but also scared because of the outcomes of how people are, you know, responding to it. But technically, he's still president for another 70 days until January. So let's just hope.
Yeah, when I came in the house that Saturday, that's when I found out, and I was just like, oh, okay, that's the result. And it was kind of shocking, but not shocking, because of course I was refreshing my phone, like, okay, who's gonna win? And I think the greatest part about it was the fact that Kamala Harris, who's in office as the vice president, I think that's really groundbreaking, since she is a woman of color, and that hopefully, well, what she's done and where she's at now, she's paved the way for many individuals, you know, who look like us and who want to get to that role or position in society one day. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and her speech was it was so amazing. It was beautiful, and she just looked great, just being on there and delivering her speech.
While I may be the first woman in this office, I will not be the last.
And I agree with Willow and Ashley. Like I wasn't really surprised, and I was relieved, but I didn't, like, even before, I didn't want to say like, oh, Biden's like definitely gonna win, because I remember I think I was in like the 6th grade or something. I was just like, oh yeah, Hillary will definitely win. Like, she's just the obvious choice. But it didn't happen. And like, I feel like even like this year, it was a pretty like close election, wasn't it? Like what was it, like 51-49 or something like that? It was pretty close.
I believe that Biden had like he needed like no, he actually had 264. Because he needed like 6 more or something for Nevada, but and then Trump had like 215.
Yeah, but I don't know. I was a little anxious about it too. But then my next question is that now that Biden is in office, do you guys see things progressing for marginalized groups?
I think in some ways, yes, because the leader of your country kind of reflects how some people will act. Like when Obama was in office, there weren't as many openly conservative, like racist people that were, not to say conservatives are racist, but like to say like there were not a lot of openly like racist people out here just being like, oh yeah, like I don't like you, like you need to go back to where you came from, like whatever. And when Trump came in office, it was more like they were more willing to share their opinion about what they thought because of who Trump is and how he acts. So I think with different leadership, there will be change.
Yeah, I would say, oh, sorry. I would like to agree with what Nyla was saying, how his policies will hopefully help marginalized groups. But I definitely think that it's going to be, I guess, a lot of tension like pushback from individuals who are, racist and who are, not happy about this election and how it came to be. And so I feel like with him in office, he'll definitely help communities. But I also think that we as individuals, we shouldn't start to feel relaxed and just like stop everything that we've been doing over the summer, petitions, really fighting for what we believe in. And so I think that's also something we've got to focus on, not just letting, oh, the president's gonna, fix this, or he's got policies that will help marginalized groups out. But I think we also got to make sure that we're still fighting. We are still, putting in the effort and raising our voices for what we stand for.
I love what you said. Don't get comfortable, because I feel like this summer, like there was like a lot of buzz, and I feel like everything that's been happening this year, it led to like the kind of like turnout that we had, like all of these like new voter registrations and everything. So yeah, I feel like, because I mean, who's to say that Biden won't do something that's crazy? I mean, just because like we got like this one like little win doesn't mean that like we should like give up everything that we've been fighting for. Before I go on a rant, Willow, what do you have to say?
I agree with both of these beautiful Black young ladies right here. Just want to say that I love them, and they're so smart. I definitely agree. It's especially what Ashley said about like not being comfortable. We still have a lot of work to do, and I just hope that Biden brings more to the table. I can't say for sure that everything will be different or there'll be a big change, because I have no proof of that. But I hope that him and Kamala Harris, because she's there. Thing that I kind of wanted to share with you guys, and it's about Quawan Charles. I don't know if you can see it, but this is very sad. He's a 15-year-old boy, and apparently a white mother and a white friend came to his home and took him out, and now he was murdered in the way Emmett Till was, basically. Like, police officers didn't really cover it or share information about it, and I think that's just sad. And it happened recently. So this is heartbreaking, especially for the family, especially for the mother, and especially for him, because he shouldn't have died in this way. So I really hope and pray that nothing like this will ever happen again.
It's kind of scary, because I hope it won't happen again too, but at the same time, I feel like it will happen again. I feel like these last 4 years, I don't know. I feel like everybody, they got very, very comfortable with their racism, and like we just like went back a huge step. And I feel like it's going to take forever for us to kind of get back to that normal kind of racism. Like, like those like little microaggressions, like, and it's scary. And I don't know, I'm anxious. I don't know when it's going to change, when it's going to get better, if it will get better. What do you guys take on that?
I would just say, obviously, we know that another person being in office doesn't necessarily change like everything. Like, we've already established that. And I personally believe that it's definitely a heart issue. And once we get to the root of why people are being racist, why people are just doing hateful, gruesome things, whether they're, really like microaggressions, like small, minute, it really is a heart issue. And I definitely hope and pray that it does get better, but I think there's a lot of work to be done.
Oh, Nyla, do you want to say something?
No, I was just gonna say, like, I completely agree with like what both of them said, and I had heard about that story, but I only heard about it like one time on TikTok. Like, that's where I heard it from, and I think it's just sad that they didn't put that on the news and try and cover that. Like, why are you trying to hide this? Because you know it's wrong. You know that you should have investigated. You know that you should have done something other than just be. See, I know they wouldn't like let them see the autopsy results, so they had to like go to pay someone to do the autopsy before they do his funeral. Like, it's just messed up. I
just find it very emotional, and I think it's just much that even though we weren't born back in that time, that we still have a lot to carry on our shoulders. And I just hope I don't cry when saying this, but I just think like coming from a Black family, I had Black family, Black friends, you know, so it's just like I wouldn't want my brother to be like that. You know, I wouldn't want you guys to be like that. So it's just hard to digest that and to know that we live in that type of world.
I totally agree because it's like it's personal. It's right at our doorstep, and we can't change our skin color. Not that I would want to, but it's like this is how we live our lives every single day. And this year has been hard with the pandemic and just seeing the terrible things that have happened. It's ridiculous, and it's kind of sad that part of it it's like, oh, that's kind of normal now. But I'm thankful that we, as you know, in the Black community, we're still, you know, we're still moving forward, and we're still making sure that hey, people are getting educated, people are getting the justice that they deserve. And so definitely, I mean, me having a Black dad, a Black brother as well, it's very personal, and sometimes it's like in the back of my head, like I'm always not fearful, but it's definitely like I've got to be weary about my surroundings and things like that. And so it's always something that's really in the back of my mind. So I definitely feel for Willow and just any individual. And so it's a lot to take on.
Yeah, and again, I feel like this all kind of like ties into what you guys were saying earlier. Don't get comfortable. Yes, Biden's now in office, but just because he's in office doesn't mean that racism is going to finally disappear. It doesn't mean that everybody's going to be like less homophobic. It doesn't mean the world is going to be a better, beautiful place. Keep on talking, keep on with your protest, keep on using your platforms to speak out. Because if you don't, we're not going to progress. It's just going to be stagnant, like it has been for a while.
I agree. Because like people are normalizing a lot now. Even when we say like normal microaggressions, like oh, you're smart for a Black girl, you're pretty for a Black woman, it's just ill. It seems normal, but it shouldn't be because I don't understand how people don't. I don't understand how it's so difficult to understand the concept that we are all human. So yeah, when we normalize things like people saying the N-word, and then they're just like, oh well, don't put it in songs if you don't want it to be said, and it's just like, or you can respect the fact that I don't want you to say it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like respect in general would help with everything. But that does conclude our interview. Thank you guys so much for being here, for sharing your voices with us. I know that some of these were like very, very tough topics. So thank you for sharing that with us today. This is Power and Blaso. Bye guys.